Why don't you cut out of this after he finishes this comment? The 35 down to our left, kicking left to right for PLU as we get set for the second Mount Rainier Division game of the CFA season between two teams who come in division play tied with a 1-0 record. The kick will be taken by Lee at the 4-yard line. Near sideline, cuts across the 10 to the 15 to the 20, into the open to the 25, and tripped up as he got across the 30-yard line up near the 32. The stop by PLU by Robert Mackle, 100 yards last week against UPS. Gavin Murgatroyd is the fullback, the wide receiver Jason Heath, and the Ian Cook is the flanker. The tight end is Charles Fortier. On first down, back to pass to Nicholas. Hits and dropped the football back inside the 30. The ball is loose. No initial indication right now. And now it looks like it will be PLU football. It is. So the Lutz on the first offensive play of the game by Simon.
The Lutz as they take over deep in Clan territory.
So it will be first down for PLU from the 25-yard line of Simon Frasier, moving left to right. Ball resting between the hashes, out of the shotgun on first down. Weekly back to pass, getting pressure. Screen pass over the middle to Chad Barnett at the 25. Cuts up field at the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, PLU. And that mega play. Mike, you're going to have to turn that mic down back at the studio. Mike, you're going to have to turn that microphone back at the studio down. The extra point from here at Sparks. Fumble by Tamikolas, the quarterback, on the sack, and one play later, a 25-yard catch and run by Chad Barnett gives PLU the early lead. Jamie Thomas with the extra point. Now his kick is going deep, but it will go out of bounds at the 5-yard line as Sean Lee let it go out. And so Simon Frasier will have the option, have it kicked over or take it at the 35. And I imagine that John Hamill is not in the game today. Of course, he hurt his ankle last week, so Marcus Gibbons, who had an excellent game in his place against Central Washington, is in at the corner on the left side. PLU's front four up on the line of scrimmage. Handoff to Walters. He's hit in the backfield. Back at the 32-yard line. They will lose 3 on the play. Jason Tichinson and Trevor White is the strong safety. And on second down and 13, 2 receivers to the right. Option play to the quarterback. Tamikolas hit by Ted Riddell as he tried to go around the right side. Got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe forward for half a yard, and that is it. So it's going to be third. And in fact have the, statistically, the last placed offense in the CFA in yards picked up. 2 receivers go right, and the backs are split on offset to the right. Tamikolas back to pass, rolling to his right, trying to get away from Pesher, throwing on the run, and is incomplete up near the first down stick at the 45-yard line. And so with 13:10 to go here in the snap is back, and the kick is off. It's a line drive, short. Riddell on the run, takes it at the PLU 45, across midfield to the 45-yard line of Simon Frasier. And so Pacific Lutheran will again start in excellent field position following the 15-yard punt return by Ted Riddell. Of course, Mark Weekly, the senior quarterback, along with Dave Barber, are the backs. The tight ends, Gavin Stanley and Cale Pyland. We'll see more of Andrew Gray here this afternoon. Also, Curtis Bernard will get a chance to play his first offensive series this afternoon. Meanwhile, the swing pass left side to Aaron Tang down the far sideline, up across the 30, down to the 28-yard line, and a first down for PLU. Tang playing with a heavily bandaged left guard. The other guard is Jeff Douglas. The tackles Aaron Linderud and J.R. Soski. Brian Flatham is the center for PLU. Gavin Stanley wide right with Tang in the slot. 2 back split and offset to the right behind quarterback Mark Weekly. Cale Pyland, the other tight end, strong left. Weekly on the roll to the near sideline, trying to throw on the run. Now he does. He throws, and it's caught by Gavin Stanley up at the 15-yard line. Kept his feet in bounds and then dove with the rest of his body, the upper torso leaning out of bounds to make the catch. But it is good enough for a PLU.
And catching the ball out of bounds, but his feet were in bounds. Nice catch and a first down for the Lutz.
From the 14 hash mark right side, Weekly with Barber and Tang in the backfield, and a wing to the left side is Barnett. One receiver wide left, back pedaling to pass, getting some pressure up the middle. Weekly rolls to the near side, throwing to the end zone, gets Gavin Stanley at the 8-yard line, breaks away from one defender and gets down to the 6. And he will be about 1.5 yards shy of a first down. Weekly was looking into the end zone. Barber check out, Jim Shapiro comes in, and here we come back with 4 receivers. That diamond crackerjack set for PLU wide left. Shapiro to the short side. The isolated receiver comes right. Weekly, quick throw out to the flat. This is to Barnett. Touchdown, PLU.
And Tom, you can do a couple things with the
week against Central Washington, made each and every extra point he attempted. How important was that last week? Here's the extra point. It's on its way. It's up, and it is good. And with 11:34 left here in the first quarter, our score is now Pacific. Third time this afternoon will be kicking off. He has it at the 35, down to our left. And the deep back is Sean Lee, awaiting inside the 10. A high kick taken near sideline at the 2. He fumbled it, picks it up across the 5, breaking to the outside, running horizontally, and stopped at the 7-yard line. DJ Seidel, the first one there, along with help from Josh Arnold. And Simon Frasier backed up against their own goal line. He first. Simon Frasier, as we mentioned, after 6 games, they have 6 because they played the University of British Columbia in a non-league game. Still, though, last in total offense in the Columbia Football Association. To Nicholas to Walters, the deep back, takes it up to the 10 for a gain of 2. He is stopped there. Albert Jackson in a second down and 8 from their own 10. Ball resting between the hashes as the Klansmen move right to left. 2 receivers left. Handoff fake to the deep back. Back to throw to Nicholas, getting some pressure, throwing it out. It's caught up across the 10 up to the 13-yard line. And that's Gavin Murgatroyd, the fullback, out of the backfield, who make mark of the first quarter. Simon Frasier will send trips wide right to the wide side of the field. The lone setback is Martin Gallipo. Back to throw to Nicholas over the middle, in and out of the hands of Walters, and as he tried to juggle it, he was hit by Ruby, and the ball goes incomplete, falls to the turf, and Riddell is the short back at the 42. Barnett, the deep back, had his own 48, waiting the snap. A high snap brought down by Anderson, gets the punt off. It's a high kick. This will be taken by Barnett at the Simon Frasier 45, up to the 40, to the 35, sandwiched down at the Klansman 35-yard line. In on offense with excellent field position. All 3 drives have started now in
4 for 46 yards in the last drive, which also resulted in a score.
Aaron Tang will come wide right to the short side of the field. Weekly will work out of the shotgun back at the 40-yard line, awaiting the snap. 2 backs are split with him in the backfield. Barber and Barnett with Cale Pyland wide left. Snap back to Weekly, looking to the left, coming back to the right side, throws it out to Gavin Stanley. The tight end makes it for a short gain across the 35. Up to Chad Barnett and Andrew Gray, and along with Gavin Stanley, will all come wide right to the short side of the field. Shapiro is wide left. Weekly again out of the shotgun. Tang is the lone setback in the backfield along with the quarterback. Take the snap. It's quick snap right to Tang. Tang straight upfield across the 25 for the first down to the 21-yard line before he is tackled by the strong safety Mike Jones. PLU has used that play occasionally, and this is Douglas and Curtis Benar, and picks up the first down. From the hash mark right side, 1st and 10. Weekly now under center with trips wide left. And Tom Barber, the fullback, in the backfield. Offset to the left side. Weekly, quick hitter. Slanted pass to Barnett. Squeezes inside a defender across the 15 down to the 13-yard line. And he'll pick up 7. Yard line, hash mark left side. Again, 3 receivers will come from the huddle and come wide right for PLU. Tang, Barnett, and Gavin Stanley. Barber, the fullback, is the lone setback. The tight end is strong left. Cale Pyland on 2nd and short for the Lutes. Weekly will give to the fullback Barber over the right side. Big hole, 5, touchdown, PLU.
That was Tom Barber from 13 yards out for the PLU touchdown.
Perfect, as we mentioned last week against Central, looking for his 3rd extra point here this afternoon out of the hold of Carl Hoseth. The snap is back, the kick is on its way, and the kick is good. 8 minutes left in the first quarter of play, and PLU is on the microphone.
Come on, let's get up.
asking for right now is the crowd mic. You might be able to hear what he's saying. Guess not.
A couple of dozen of fans, meanwhile, have made the way down from Burnaby for this afternoon's ball game. Meanwhile, the kick by Jamie Thomas into the end zone and out the back end for a touchback. Is really taken control here early as well. They have shut down the Simon Frasier offense. Two receivers will come wide left, and Demichelis will operate out of the I formation. The deep back Walter will get the handoff. Big hole over the right side, and he stumbles forward. Got tripped up by Ted Riddell at the 25. Gets up, and they will mark his forward progress at the 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard gain. Again, out of the I formation. Receivers left and right. Now a man in motion through the formation coming to the near side. That's Mark Clark. And back to pass, and they give it on the delay to the back. And they try the right side this time, and they get up close to.
Certainly not getting it done offensively here so far in this ball game.
Demichelis now with the back split in the pro set, has receivers left and right as well. Here comes motion along the PLU defensive front. I think they jumped the gun, John Ruby and Ted Riddell, and Ruby may have been the one who came across and made contact trying to anticipate the snap count. And that'll cost 5 yards. And so Simon Frasier will get the first down on the penalty. Offside or encroachment is the call against PLU. That'll move the ball up to the 35. Trailing 21-0. Ian Cook, the flanker, will come wide left. And Mark Clark is in the slot. Wing to the left side, and now switching into the deep back set. The lone setback is Walters, 7 yards off the line of scrimmage. He gets the handoff over the right side. Big hole across the 40, up near the 45. They'll give him 9. It'll bring up 2nd down and 1. A couple of touchdowns last season up in British Columbia in Vancouver when the PLU traveled up north in what was their CFA Mountain Rainier Division clinching victory over the Klansmen. Again out of the eye, handoff to the deep back, hit in the backfield, spinning, trying to get up to the first down marker, but stopped. A yard shy was Walters again. Jason Teal wrapped him up. Got help from Matt Mahela. In fact, see playing time every game of the season for the Lutes. So it's 3rd down and short. Power set, double tight end. Quarterback on the sneak, has a big hole, cuts across the left side, then up to midfield. So he'll pick up close to 6 on the play. Demichelis, the quarterback out of Montreal. Top. Two receivers will come wide left. Cook with Jason Sheath in the slot. Walters will line up as a wing to the left side. One setback, 6 yards off the line, directly behind the quarterback Demichelis. Now he will shift Walters back into the backfield. They go with a pro set. And a tight end, strong right. He's tossed sweep to the right side. Big hole, and about 5 yards on the carry for Gavin Murgatroyd, but I think we saw the hanky come out of the pocket as well. We do have a flag on the play. Could be some sort of motion coming up against Simon Frasier. The gain was to the PLU 45 of 4 yards. No, it's offside against the Lutes. 21-0. Mark Clark will come wide left. Cook goes wide right to the short side of the field. The back shift into the I set. Demichelis, the quarterback, sophomore out of Montreal, calling the signals. Tight end strong left. Here's the handoff to the deep back. Walters tripped up in the backfield by Ted Riddell that hit at the line of scrimmage. John Ruby and Jason Fawcett, along, in fact, 3 receivers now will come wide left. And one setback, 4 yards off the line of scrimmage, and offset to the left behind the quarterback. Demichelis back to throw. Slanting pass caught, made up near the 36-yard line, and a first down for the Klansmen at the PLU 36. Walton behind early by 3 touchdowns. Mark Clark will go wide right. Cook comes to the short side, the left side of the field. The back shift out of the eye into the pro set with a tight end strong right. Toss sweep right side, movement along the offensive line. That's going to cost the Klansmen 5. It'll bring it back to the 41. It looked like the left tackle was moving early. That would be Peter Pajovic, 6'4".
They look more like 6'5" or 6", and from a sheer physical standpoint, Simon Frasier looks decidedly larger on the offensive side of the ball.
Sheath will come wide left. Cook is wide right. Toss sweep to Murgatroyd around the right side. Cut down at about the 44-yard line. He'll lose 3 on the play. Again, Ted Riddell knifing through to make the stop for Simon Frasier. Cook and Walters coming wide left. And 2 receivers also go right. So 4 receivers, no tight end, and 1 back along with Demichelis, who's operating out of the shotgun on 2nd down and long. Looking down the far sideline, throws and short hopped. His receiver, who had not made his cut toward the sideline yet, the pass was away and bounces about 4 feet.
Big play in this drive. 12th play of the drive here on 3rd and long. And certainly one that Simon Fraser needs to convert if they want to get back into this ball game.
Back shifting into the eye. Clark comes wide left. Cook goes right to Miklas. Back to pass, getting some pressure from Ted Riddell. Rolls away from pressure, has some room down the far sideline with a blocker in front of him, but he's hit and dropped after a short gain. He got back the yardage they lost on the previous play and the penalty +2, but he'll be 8 yards shy of the first down. So Anderson is in to punt the football away for Simon Fraser. Trevor White back at the 10 awaiting the kick. Little squib pooch kick will drop inside the 10 and go out of bounds near the 6-yard line. They'll spot it at the 4, so a nice job of Anderson. Does not get very many yards here in the first quarter.
Now, Tom, it's interesting, their offense, I mean, their defense has virtually been, I wouldn't say non-existent, but not living up to the billing that they had coming into this game.
Gavin Stanley comes wide right for PLU. Ball resting at the hash mark left side. Tang is a slot. Two backs are split and offset behind Wakely, who rolls to his right in the end zone. Has some time looking upfield. Almost intercepted. In and out of the hands of the defensive back. There were two wide receivers. Second down and 10. Stop the clock with 1:46 to go. Aaron Tang will come wide right. Wakely out of the shotgun. Backpedaling into his end zone. Getting some pressure. Steps up. Hit. Gets away from the pressure to the 5. And down at the 7-yard line for a short gain of 3. But he almost got caught. Chad Barnett, Gavin Stanley, and Corey Beret, meanwhile, will all come wide right. Shapiro goes wide left. Out of the shotgun, Weekly back to pass, getting some pressure, and he's dropped back in the end zone for the safety. Leading the way was Ryan Banks, a defense ball on 1180 KLAY. After the safety, and Mark Weekly puts a foot into it. Gets a nice hanging, booming punt over the head of the safety. Jones going to chase this one back into the end zone. And he has to, well, he has to go down with it, and he won't bring it out.
Mark Weekly's punt pulled out of the end zone.
It's a pretty good punt there.
The University of
And
Washington 14.
as we hear the Huskies leading Oregon 14-6 at Husky Stadium. Here's Walters on the first down carry. Tried the right side, got to the line of scrimmage, and maybe a yard forward. Really no rain in the forecast this afternoon. It rained early. And the forecast this afternoon is for some clouds, but a minimal chance of precipitation. Out of the eye. Fake the handoff to Walters. Back to throw. Throwing to Murgatroyd out of the backfield up at the 25-yard line. Far sideline. Well covered by Fawcett. And it goes incomplete and stops the secondary. Chris Van Slichtenhorst is the extra defensive back. On third down, two receivers left. A wing to the left side and one setback. Walters back to throw. The quarterback getting pressure, dropped back inside the 15. Ted Riddell will get credited with the initial stop. Had some help there. Feeling more comfortable this year on defense after starting his PLU career as a running back. He has taken over that nickelback spot. From the goal line, awaiting the snap, Anderson, the punter for Simon Fraser, low, picks it off the ground. Line drive kick right into the hands of Chad Barnett at the 40-yard line. Looking for a hole, now chased backwards and will lose 5 on the return back to the Simon Fraser 45-yard line. Not a bad kick considering he was kicking it yards away, and then Barnett trying to backpedal and 46-yard line, hash mark right side. Shapiro comes wide right to the short side of the field, trips wide left. Weekly out of the shotgun with Tang, the lone setback, takes the snap, backpedals. Here comes pressure up the middle, screen pass over the middle to Chad Barnett. Gets away from the defense, breaks to the near side, looking for a block across the 40. He's got the 30, looking for a block. He's got it at the 20 and down to the 15-yard line. Jim Shapiro with a big block at about the 30-yard line, sprung him loose and almost got him in.
Like you said, Shapiro with a nice block. Blocking is what makes that work so well, and the Lutes picked up good yardage that time.
And that is the
Yards to go for your Lutes from the 15-yard line.
back at Sparks Stadium where the Lutes on the first play of the second quarter throw that we may have a motion penalty. Oh, it's offside against Simon Fraser. Successful out of the hold of Carl Hoseth with 14:52 to go before halftime. The kick is on its way. It's up and it is good. And so PLU now tacks on another point. They lead it 28-2. You are live. And the scoreboard would reflect that. 28-2 is our score. Jamie Thomas now kicking right to left here in the second quarter into a wind. Gets a nice high kick. It's short. Will bounce. Almost hit an up back. Taken on the bounce at the 14-yard line. Breaking to the outside of the 25 and pushed out of bounds up near the 27-yard line. And a flag comes in late. Flag is laying down right about where the tackle was made. It's a holding call against Simon Frasier. It'll cost him about 10. Right side, Ian Cook will come wide right, and Sheath will go left to the wide side of the field. The backs will operate from the eye. Nicholas, the quarterback, the sophomore, calling out the signals, maybe changing up at the line of scrimmage. Man in motion, Sheath toward the formation, handoff, fake to the fullback, toss sweep to the left side of the deep back. This is Walters around the left end across the 20, up near the defense. Have moved the football somewhat effectively the last two times they've had it, although their only 2 points came from the defense on the safety. Again, operating out of the eye with receivers left and right. To Nicholas will hand off to the deep back. Walters juggled his handoff, takes it over the left side. Big hole out near the 40-yard line. Tripped up as he gets across the 40 to the 41. And Trevor White comes up from the strong safety position along with help from wide right. Cook goes left, and the backs again in the eye. The tight end is strong right. On first down, give to the fullback. Murgatroyd fumble the football. It's loose on the turf, and who's got it? There's a big pile up back at the 37-yard line. In on that pile, a couple of PLU players. As Murgatroyd was hit and the ball bounced backwards. And the indication is it will be Simon Frasier football. Hash mark right side at the Simon Frasier, 37. As the tight end, Charles Fortier, will come out wide right. 2 receivers go left. Cook is in the slot. Out of the shotgun with 2 backs split with him. Murgatroyd fakes the handoff to Walters and was going to shovel pass it up ahead, and it goes incomplete. Intended for Murgatroyd and the PLU defense, with Ryan Mangan and Kevin Winder getting quickly into the back and 15 now for the Klansmen as Sheath breaks from the huddle and comes right. Cook will go wide left to the wide side of the field, again operating out of the shotgun. To Nicholas, drops straight back. Here comes the pressure by PLU, throwing deep down the middle of the field looking for Sheath, and Sheath running over the back of Jason Fawcett down at the PLU 28, and the ball goes incomplete up near the 20-yard line. So to Nicholas, the sophomore.
The official back on the coverage of that play realized the ball probably was uncatchable.
Here comes the punt by Anderson. Pressure coming by PLU. They don't get to it. End over end, taken by Marnett at his 27. Cuts his way across the 30 up to the 35-yard line. And here comes the PLU offense. One more time. British Columbia made the stop. And so Pete Shapiro will all come wide left. Gavin Stanley, the tight end, is strong right. Aaron Tang, the lone setback. On first and 10, movement along the defensive line. Did they come across? I see the flag offside. Meanwhile, the play goes straight upfield. 2 flags now as they get it up near the first down marker, up at the 44-yard line. Now we'll check the flag. I think one of them is for offside against Simon Frasier, and that is the call. And PLU would probably lead, looking for more. It's like Dave Aspvold has checked in for the first time in quite a long time for PLU. He is split in the backfield along with Jim Shapiro as Weekly gets under center. Fakes to Aspvold, drops back to pass, now rolling away from pressure to the far sideline. Fake pump, now he throws, and is it caught? No, incomplete up at the 41-yard line of Simon Frasier. The ball a little low and behind Shapiro, the intended. Aspvold, Shapiro, and Gavin Stanley will go wide right. Tight end Kale Palayan is wide left. Corey Beret, the lone setback, is offset to the left. Now he shifts directly behind quarterback Mark Weekly. He gets the handoff over the right side, hitting the backfield, spinning his way across the first down marker as he rolled over the back of one of his downed offensive linemen. It looks like it was Jeff Douglas.
The first down by picking up an extra couple yards.
So first and 10 for PLU from their own 45, hash mark right side. They'll send 2 receivers left, Shapiro and Bray. Aspvold is the lone setback. Weekly the quarterback under center. Man in motion, Shapiro from left to right through the backfield. He gets the handoff, trying the right side, hit and spun down in the back. And Sean McGowan, defensive end out of Everett, Washington, wrapped him.
Paul Zaccato, the linebacker. Bromelo with 18.5 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Zaccato with 13. So we'll see what happens with those here this afternoon as well.
Second down and 12 for the Lutes. Weekly out of the shotgun. Aspvold, the lone setback, the fullback, back with him. Offset to the left side. Weekly backpedaling, throws over the middle, and it's short hop to Shapiro up near the 47-yard line. Well covered by a score of 28-2. Corey Beret will break from the huddle. He comes wide left to the wide side of the field. Weekly under center, has Shapiro wide right. Now Shapiro in motion through the formation to the near side. Weekly takes the snap, rolling left on the play toward the near sideline. Has a wall of blockers, throwing back over the middle. It's deflected as he was trying to get it in to Shapiro, and Paul Zaccato got a fist on it and knocked it down. And in, we believe, a punt, as Weekly is back at the 30 awaiting the snap as the sun now shines on Spark Stadium. Snap is back. Mike Jones, the return man, as the flag flies. There's a short punt taken on a bounce at the 20-yard line and spun down immediately by Trevor White. Was Jones. White, the deep snapper, quickly downfield. Now we'll take a look at the penalty flag. 10 minutes, 7 seconds left here in the first half. PLU up by 26 points. And we'll wait for the indication. Looks like somebody downfield. No, it's Sen the Klansman, and PLU has shown a lot of their weapons here this afternoon, leading 28-2. They have two receivers now. Corey Bray and Jim Shapiro come wide left as the Lutes offensively are resting up Barnett and Aaron Tang. We have movement is coming across the line of scrimmage was the defensive tackle Mike Romelau, and retaliating for PLU was Dave Aspel, the fullback. And although fullbacks are big, they're not as big as defensive end Mike Romelau, who came shooting across and gave the offensive lineman for the Lutes a shot and threw him backwards into the PLU backfield. And Dave Aspel standing up for his lineman. It is a procedure call against the Lutes. Apparently movement faced with first down and 15 from the Simon Frasier 46 hash mark right side. Again, Corey Bray and Shapiro come wide left with Shapiro in the slot. Handout to the fullback. Aspel hit at the line of scrimmage, bounces off and gets forward for a yard or two. And I bet you Bromelo's in on the stop for the Clans. And he's a little shaken up as he comes to the sideline. And the backs are split and offset behind Mark Weekly on second down and 13. They give him a gain of 2. Shapiro wide right, double tight end. Now they'll shift Cale Pilot out. He'll go wide left. And Weekly takes the snap, dropping straight back, throwing over the middle. No, he fakes, throws down the far sideline, has a receiver open. Jim Shapiro up to the 35-yard line and out of bounds. As he picks up 8, will bring up third down and 5. Come wide left. Gavin Stanley goes to the short side, wide right. The backs split and offset out of the offset eye behind the quarterback Mark Weekly. Barber and Bray on third and 5. Weekly fakes to the fullback Barber, rolls to the right, gets away from pressure, heading upfield, looking for the first down stick, and he dives forward. He'll be close, but I think he may have put the knee down about a half-yard shy. And as they spot the football, the nose of the football is just shy of the 30-yard line. Meanwhile, there is a flag in that general vicinity. And we're going to have a personal foul roughing the passer against Simon Frasier. Apparently somebody came in helmet first on Mars. Wide left, the diamond set. And they'll isolate Shapiro wide right to the short side of the field. Out of the shotgun, Weekly back to pass, looking for Shapiro, throwing down the sideline. Ball is deflected away. We may have a holding call, though, coming up against PLU in the D backfield as the flag is down. As the coverage down deep by Justin Ring, the linebacker on Shapiro. He may have got a hand on the football, but now we'll check the penalty flag. Shapiro was well covered. Travis Ness is getting some action for PLU at center. And apparently the penalty is going to be
curricularly, shall we say.
Half the distance to the goal, moves it down to the 8. And we'll bring up a first and goal for PLU. Personal foul is the call. As we said, Ness is in as an offensive lineman. He's the offensive guard now, not the center. Brian Flatham continues at center, but he's playing left guard. So PLU going with some substitutions along that offensive line. First and goal. Weekly 3 receivers right. Fakes. Rolls. Back. Looking. Back of the end zone. Touchdown. PLU. Aaron Tang makes the catch for the Lutes. And that mega play by PLU was brought to you by Point. Carl Hoseth is the holder. Trevor White, the deep snapper. The snap is back. It's down. It's on its way. It is up. And it is good. 8:45 left here in the first half, and Pacific Lutheran leads now by a score of 35-2. You are listening to Lute Football. Catches it for the 6. And now Jamie Thomas has it teed up at the 35. Down to our right, kicking deep to Sean Lee. And it's a short kick angling toward the sideline. It goes out of bounds. Wind aided. Got pushed by the wind toward the sideline across the field from us. So for the third. So they'll take over first and 10 at their own 35, hash mark left side. 2 receivers will come wide left. Cook is in the slot. 2 receivers go left, 2 come right. High snap on the quarterback out of the shotgun, rolling to the near side, looking, has a receiver. Walter open along the far sideline, hit immediately, but makes the catch and holds on at the PLU 41-yard line, hit by Trevor White with help from John Rube.
Yards in the air, so when he caught the ball, there was a lot of people around him, but wide open, perhaps a breakdown defensively.
Two receivers will come wide left to the wide side of the field, operating 1st and 10 from the PLU 41, hash mark left side out of the I formation. Handoff to Walters, the deep back around the left side, has the 40, 39, and shoved out of bounds by Larson, the corner for PLU. Of course, they did get back Curtis Bonar and also Andrew Gray. Two receivers will come right on 2nd and 7. Out of the shotgun, Tamichalis takes the snap, drops back, getting some pressure, rolling to the near side, getting swallowed up back at the 49-yard line, and down he goes. Riddell Wind. 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go before halftime as Cook comes wide right. And a man in the slot to the right side. Two backs in the eye behind the quarterback. Tight end is strong left. Hand off to the deep back Walters. Breaks to the outside near sideline. Across the 45 up to the PLU 40. Down to the 39-yard line before you stop. Got back to the original line of scrimmage +2. But and Brent Anderson will have that wind a little bit at his back as he kicks left to right. Trevor White is back at the 10 for PLU, awaiting. Here comes the pressure. A little pooch kick again toward the near sideline. It's rolling over the head of White, and he'll go into the end zone, bouncing through the back of the end zone for a touchback, and PLU will take over. And we still have two backs split and offset to the right. Double tight end formation as he operates under center on 1st and 10. From the 20, toss sweep right side. This is to Shapiro. Gunned down, lost the football. It's loose, recovered by the Klansmen. Back at the 16-yard line. It was scooped up as it...
late in the first half, Simon Frasier, a huge break as they get it deep in loot territory and a chance to put the ball in the end zone.
Jason Sheath comes wide right to the wide side of the field. Again, the backs are in the eye of the deep back Walters. They fake the handoff. Here comes the pressure on Tamichalis, and down he goes. Ted Riddell gets him after John Ruby chased him into his arms. Back at the 25-yard line. Is of 7, so it'll bring up 2nd down and 17 from the 25. Ball resting between the hashes. Two receivers, Cook and Clark, come wide right. Clark in the slot. Again, the backs are in the eye. The deep back Walters behind the fullback, Murgatroyd. The handoff to Walters, tries the right side, bounced into a defender, and he's dropped by Jason Teal. Wrapped him up, and down low it was Kevin Winder, and Albert 1 seconds to go in the first half. Three receivers will come wide to the short side of the field. That's the right side. Murgatroyd, the lone setback, the fullback, offset to the right. Here comes the pressure by Riddell. Tamichalis over the middle, and it's knocked free and intercepted by Trevor White. He's got room down the far sideline. He's to the 30, the 35, the 40. Cuts back to midfield at the 50 and down at the 47-yard line of Simon Frasier. They tried to get it into Walters, but great coverage that time by Trevor White. He knocked the ball free. It popped up.
Type of a situation, picked it up, and then took off down the far sideline for 39 yards. Nice play by Trevor White.
Carl Hoseth is back in at quarterback again for the Lutes. 1st and 10 from the 47. The backs are split and offset to the left side, a wing to the left side as well. Handoff to the fullback Asfold. Powers his way forward for 2 over the right side before he is stopped. A short coming up for the Lutes from the 45-yard line of Simon Frasier. Hash mark right side, moving right to left, leading 35-2. The backs are split and offset behind the quarterback, double tied in, and one receiver wide right. Josh Requay is in the ball game. Handoff, fullback, drop the football. It's loose on the ground. I'll scramble for it, and Simon Frasier comes up with it. Back at the PLU 49. Running back as he put it on the runner's hip, and it popped loose. And Frosty Westring with some words to his quarterback, Carl Hoseth, to make sure next time, get the ball in there. And so Hoseth gets a reprieve. He's under center. Two receivers right, one left. That's Cale Paland. The backs are split and offset to the right. And movement along the offensive line, and PLU will be hit with a penalty. And this will cost them 5 yards for procedure and will move them back toward their own 45-yard line. So the clock stops as well with 2:58 to go here before intermission. There's the official's indication. Procedure against PLU. That's basically the second team offensive unit in there. Brian Walker is at center. Jeff Fritz is at one guard. And Travis Ness is in there at a guard spot as well. So they're faced now with 3rd and 18 from their own 45. Hash mark left side. Corey Bray, the man in motion through the formation, goes left to right. Hoseth back to pass, rolled right, throws back left to Josh Requay. Requay to the 50-yard line into the 49 and down. So he got 1 second's gone off the clock. They got their first touchdown of the game following a fumble, and they've been on a roll ever since. Thomas is back at his 35, awaiting the snap from center Trevor White. Mike Jones awaiting the kick for Simon Fraser down at his 15. High kick, hangs up in the wind, fair catch called for, and Jones makes it at the 16-yard line. And so with 1:50 to go, the Klansmen will take over, 1st and 10.
Team with 79 yards in total offense, actually gained more than the team individually.
So 1st down, ball between the hashes at the 16. One setback, 6 yards off the line. He'll get the handoff, tries the left side, gets away from Albert Jackson, ran into another defender though, and is pushed forward. We'll get about 4 on the play by second effort. Next coming up as Cook comes wide right and Sheath goes left. And the back's in the eye. Walter is checked back in. He's the deep back behind the fullback Murgatroyd. To Nicholas under center on 2nd down, takes the snap, handoff to Walters, hit by Teal, gets away from him, breaks to the outside around the left end, has the 30. Hit by Trevor White as he gets up across the 35 and out of bounds at the 36-yard line. White slowed him down just enough to knock him off balance. We see still basically the PLU starting defensive unit still in the ball game with 1:03 to go in the first half. Their team up 35-2 out of the shotgun. To Nicholas back to pass, getting pressure. Gets away from Kevin Winder, rolls to the sideline, throws, completes the pass to Cook, and Cook makes the catch and sees the pressure coming from John Ruby and steps out of bounds, but he does pick up the first 6-yard line, hash mark left side, as Murgatroyd and Walters both come wide right. Walters in the slot, 3 receivers go left, and out of the shotgun, Nicholas takes the snap, throwing, crossing pass over the middle to Murgatroyd, makes the catch into PLU territory at the 49. Ted Riddell immediately in on the play to stop his forward progress. A short gain of 4 brings up 2nd down and 6, clock running, 43 seconds and counting. Albert Jackson will check out, and Josh Arnold checks in. Now timeout called. And Southern Oregon, Willamette's in Portland against Lewis and Clark, and Western Oregon's in McMinnville against Linfield. Out of the shotgun on 2nd and 6. Murgatroyd takes the, Nicholas takes the snap, rolls left, throwing, looking for Walters. Flag coming in, and Trevor White a little over anxious that time, trying to play the ball, but went through Walters.
Call as Trevor White just a little, like you said, over anxious on the coverage of.
Left here now in the first half. Cook and Sheath will go wide left. Sheath will be in the slot. The backs are in the eye, and Simon Fraser wants to use their 3rd and final timeout with 33 seconds left in the first half. Fellow offensive teammates. Cook comes wide right. Sheath is in the slot. Walters and Cook will go wide left, so 4 receivers set. Snap back to Nicholas, getting pressure, throwing toward the end zone. He overthrew everybody down at the 5-yard line near side, and it goes incomplete. Fawcett and Givens had the coverage on.
Would have wanted to that time.
So this time the Klansmen will send 3 receivers left. 1 setback, offset to the left, along with the quarterback to Nicholas out of the shotgun, backpedaling, getting pressure, gets away from Van Slichtenhorst on the safety blitz, breaks away from one other defender, that was Givens, but chased out of bounds into the PLU sideline at the 35-yard line. So basically here we'll go wide left. Sheath comes to the short side, the right side. Backs are split. Back to pass to Nicholas, looking near side, hangs it up, looking for Sheath, and it's well overthrown. About 10 yards out of bounds, down near the goal line. Givens with the will attempt a 50-yarder with the wind at his back. Hash mark right side of the hold of Nicholas. Let's see what kind of leg O'Shea displays. The snap is back. The kick is blocked. It's loose on the ground. They can pick it up. This is Albert Jackson. He kicked it right to Jason Teal. He dropped it, picked up by Fawcett. Fawcett tried to lateral it to Givens and lateraled it out of bounds. Earlier this season, turned it into Simon Fraser territory at the SFU.
And
almost kicked it right into the hands of Jason Teal, but it went past him before Fawcett picked it up. Out of the shotgun, Carl Hoseth back to pass. Getting some pressure, throws over the middle, intended for Gavin Stanley at the 31, and he took a pop from the linebacker. And that is the final play of the first half. And at the end of one half of play, our score now, Pacific Lutheran 35, Simon Fraser 2.
Can't produce the results if you don't have the personnel and the tradition and all the other things that, you know, a PLU type of a program has. So, you know, if you're Simon Fraser, you just play.
35-2 our score. PLU looking for yet another win and to keep on top of the NAIA Division II polls. They are number 1 in the nation. The kick taken at the 7. They fake the reverse. No, they do reverse to Chad Barnett up the right side of the 20. Steps up to the 30-yard line. Watch out. He's got the speed. Hit his own player at the 35-yard line. One of his own players was down on the field, began to get up, and Chad Barnett tripped up over the top of him.
I didn't mean to do that, but he did do it. and prevented a big play. Actually, nice return anyway by Barnett.
About 28 on the return for Barnett. First down, Weekly with 3 receivers wide left. Takes the snap out of the shotgun, getting pressure, steps up, throws, complete. Gets it to Gavin Stanley at the 45, and he falls forward to the 47 as Weekly threaded the needle as Gavin Stanley was double covered on.
Picked up 2 or 3 more yards on his own, but nice pickup that time.
From their own 47-yard line, hash mark left side, 1st and 10, moving right to left. Weekly 2 receivers. Check that 3 go wide right. Shapiro isolated to the left side. Tang is a lone setback. Weekly back to pass. Getting pressure. Throws one up over the middle. Looking for Aaron Tang. Wide open. Turns around. Makes the catch. Backpedaling across the 20. Down to the 18-yard line. And he, too, was double. So PLU on the move. We'll have it 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. Hash mark left side in SFU territory. 2 receivers. Check that now. 3 receivers go wide right for PLU. Shapiro isolated to the left side. Tang the lone setback. Out of the shotgun. Weekly getting pressure. Throws to Tang. Tang gets the block across the 20 to the 15 to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown. PLU. A move on to Tang. And now here he is once again. Jamie Thomas and his right foot. Out of the hold of Hosett, the kick is on the way. It's up, and it is good. 13:50 to go. 3rd quarter, and our score now. Pacific Lutheran 42, Simon Frasier 2. You are listening to Luke Football on 1180 KLAY Lakewood, Tacoma. With a little short screen pass left side, who take it over from about 20 yards out. Here's Jamie Thomas. He's perfect on the afternoon on extra points, and he's almost perfect in kicking the ball out of bounds on kickoffs. Again, kicking it into a strong win, and it seems 42-2, down by 40 points. And Sheath wide right. Cook goes to the left. The back's in the eye behind quarterback. Demichelis, the sophomore out of Montreal, makes the snap, fakes the handout. Now he gives it to Murgatroyd, the fullback. Powers his way over the right side, gets up near the 40 for a gain of 5. Havoc with some of the signs that are up along the fence around the field. And some of the balloons that were here earlier have blown away. 2nd and 5 from their own 40. Fake to the fullback. Option to the near side. Demichelis on the keeper himself. Heads up field and drags a defender across the 45 to the 46. John Ruby makes the stop. But Demichelis. Bartlett, the junior center, leads the offense up to the line of scrimmage. Clark will come wide right. And Cook will go wide left. The tight end Fortier is strong right. And the backs again are in the eye. The deep back is Walters. He's going to be a pass. Oh, and what a pop on the receiver. Larson laid into Cook. As soon as the ball got there, he met the receiver. And
yeah, it's a nice play by Larson.
2nd down and 10 following the incomplete pass. 2 receivers go left. And again, the backs are in the eye with Fortier, the tight end, strong right. Demichelis back to pass. Spin move. Turns. Throws. It's high. It's caught. Brought down. 1st down. Down to the PLU 42-yard line. That was Chris Sarkis, the reserve tight, his first catch of the afternoon. Clark will come wide right. Backs again in the eye. Under center, Demichelis, movement along the defensive front. Whistle blows. We may have encroachment. It may have been that Jason Teal came across the line and made contact with an offensive lineman before the snap of the football. Or we'll see whether or not he was drawn offside. Meanwhile, Murgatroyd checks out, and Sarkis comes back into the ballgame for SFU. A 3rd quarter, and PLU on top by a score of 42-2. And now the defense on the field as Simon Frasier has moved down to the Lute 37-yard line following the penalty. Back to throw. Sarkis hit as he throws, has his tight end Fortier open at the 20 and barrels over the defender up to the 19-yard line. Scott Larson makes the tackle, but Demichelis is here. Clark will come wide right. The tight end Fortier is strong right. Sheath goes left, and the backs are split and offset to the left behind the quarterback. Now they shift back into the eye. The deep back Walters 7 yards off the line of scrimmage. Demichelis fakes the handoff, rolling to the near side, getting chased by Ted Riddell and threw that one away. The intended receiver was Clark down at the 10-yard line, but the pressure
On that ball away.
Martin Gallipo checks out at the fullback spot. Murgatroyd is back in out of the shotgun with trips wide left and 2 receivers wide right. No tight end. Here comes the pressure. Throwing. Pass short hop. May have been deflected at the line of scrimmage. Kevin Winder applying the pressure. PLU on top, 42-2. Sheath will come wide right. Clark goes left. We have not seen the return of Cook since he took that hit. and limped off the field. The backs are split, offset to the right side behind Tomiklis. Back to pass, getting some pressure, steps up, steps away from pressure. Now he's hit, and down he goes. Ted Riddell has got him. And who else in on the second? Blocked late in the first half. With a wind at his back, blowing southwest to northeast, it's up, and it is a line drive and no good. Ted Riddell coming through, almost got a hand on the foot. 21 will give PLU the football back on offense here in the
third period. Certainly a whole lot of ball game left. PLU's largest margin of victory has been 50 points. It wouldn't surprise me if PLU scored a couple more times today to break that record.
Man in motion, Reque comes right to left through the formation. Backs are split and offset to the right, hand off to the fullback, and this is Corey Beret. And it may have been a fumble on the play. And we don't see an indication now. They have come into the ball game too late in the first half, and now this one here early on in the third quarter. Hoseth brings the offense up to the line of scrimmage. The backs are split and offset to the left. A wing to the left side is Reque on second down. And they actually gain 2 on the fumble. Movement along the defensive line. Here's the handoff to the fullback. Askvold tries the right side, gets about a yard. Now we'll see whether or not this was offside. I have to believe it was against Simon Frasier because the play went on. And so this should be a gain for the Lutes via the penalty flag. Hoseth, meanwhile, checking the play call along the sideline. It is offside, the official call against. So third quarter, the Lutes on top by 40 at 42-2. Double tight end formation with a wing to the left side, and the backs are split behind the quarterback. Hoseth under center on second down and short. Long snap count. Toss sweep right side to Reque. Looking ahead, trying to fight his way forward, but he's going to be short of the first down as he got back to the line of scrimmage plus maybe half a yard. So third down. Third and 2 from their own 32-yard line. Backs are split and offset to the left. Again, Reque is the wing to the left side. Double tight end formation for PLU. Hoseth at quarterback replacing Mark Wakely. Hand off to the fullback. Aspel powers his way forward, trying to get up close and may have. In fact, it looks like now if they spot it where the official is walking, which is the 35-yard line, it will be a...
You can't expect them to move the ball and be as effective as the first team, but still they want to show that they can move the ball with some degree of effectiveness, and nice pickup there by Askable to keep this drive going.
So it's first and 10 from their own 35. Ball resting between the hashes. Hand off to the first back through. Reque trying to find his way forward. Gets a couple of yards as he goes over the right side. Moves it out across.
Number 83 that we haven't seen all year is Carl Kainz, actually listed as a running back in the program, a freshman from Helena, Montana.
And he is in strong left. Reque is the wing to the right side. The backs are split behind Hoseth, the quarterback. Toss sweep to the left side. Corey Beret looking for a block, breaks to the outside, gets to the 40, and then hog-tied down by a host of Simon Frasier defenders across the 40 to the 40. Third quarter, PLU on the move out at their own 41. Hash mark left side. Hoseth again under center with 2 backs split. The wing, Reque, comes to the left. Now he goes in motion left to right through the formation. Handoff fullback Aspel right side, slides forward up near the 45, and he's going to be a yard shy of the first down. So we may get a chance to see him in his first action in some time. Thomas back at his 30, awaiting the snap from Trevor White. Meanwhile, Mike Jones back at his 21 down to our left. The snap is back. Here's the kick. Short, wobbly kick will drop at the 30 and then picked up at the 28, and immediately Jones is ridden over by Trevor White and Ted Riddell for PLU. So no return on the punt by Tom. 24-yard line. Drew Hershey is in there as a defensive lineman along with Mark Leaf. Ted Riddell remains in the ball game. Keith Folfs is in there as well. On first and 10 from their own 27. Option play to the near sideline by the quarterback, and he's ripped down by John Ruby. Tomiklis, and a good job by PLU of cutting off the pitch to the 28-yard line. 3 receivers will go wide left. Cook is back in the ball game as his ankle taped up that he injured earlier here in the second half. 1 setback offset to the left. Tomiklis 2-step drop, slant pass, looking for sheath, and it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. May have been Mangan who got a hand on the ball and tipped. Most of those who started the ball game remain in, although we do see Van Slichtenhorst and also Green now in the ball game for PLU. The backs are split and offset to the left behind Temikulis. The quarterback takes the snap, rolling to his left, looking to throw. Downfield, he throws, and it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of the receiver. They wave it off. Ted Riddell picks it up, but it was an incomplete pass intended for Clark up at the 40. Chad Barnett is back at his own 29, awaiting the punt by Anderson. Ted Riddell is the up back at the 42. The snap is back, and here comes the kick. It's a short, wobbly one, but over the head of Riddell, and he'll chase it out of bounds back at the 33-yard line across the way from us, and so the Lutes will take over with Lute Football on 1180 KLAY. On first down, PLU quarterback Carl Hoseth dropped back, faked the hand. PLU scored on their opening drive of the second half of play to extend their lead to 42-40. Rique comes wide left out of the shotgun on 2nd down and 8. Hoseth back to pass. Looks, has some time, throwing over the middle, complete to the tight end hike up at the 50-yard line into Simon Frasier territory, but a flag back at about where Hoseth threw the ball. It could be a holding coming up against the Lutes.
Well, from where the flag is thrown, it appears like you had kind of suggested, Tom, and indeed it is a holding call on the
Montana, 6'1", 180-pounder with some good moves after the catch as well. He comes wide left with Rique in the slot. Hoseth out of the shotgun along with two backs, split, back to pass, getting some pressure, throwing near sideline. Again, he catches and throws to Kites, and Kites makes the catch.
Ease and a self-assuredness that it has progressed through the season with Carl Hoseth, particularly throwing the ball. He's seeming to be a lot more at ease in the pocket and releasing the ball now.
On third down, man in motion coming through the formation was Corey Beret, but we have flags as there's movement along the line of scrimmage. A couple of defenders come shooting through the gaps. May have been a procedure call against PLU unless the defender came across and made contact first. In that case, it would be encroachment, but the PLU offense is moving back, and it is procedure call against chance to play in game situations as often as the first team does, so they're not as in sync as the first unit would be. So these type of mistakes, although not appreciated, are certainly going to be expected.
And we saw very similar types of plays in the first game for the first team.
Man in motion again, Beret toward the formation as Hoseth dropped back to pass, getting some pressure, trying to throw, but he's hit and brought down by Ryan Banks, the senior defensive end, crashing through, beat the tackle, Jeff Fritz, or a penalty. Come out of this with pretty good field position. Thomas is a yard deep in the end zone, down to our right, low snap, lost it, picks it up, and he goes down to take the safety. Bad snap from center, and Thomas couldn't handle the bounce and decided so still the defense has not allowed any points here this afternoon, but the PLU offense now has given up 4, waiting the kick. Again, there will be a breeze in the face of Thomas as he kicks off here following the safety. And the kick is away, a line drive down the middle of the field, now bouncing toward the near sideline, gets behind Lee. Lee picks it up back at the 8, up across the 15 to the 20, and he gets saddled and knocked down by Kites at the 24-yard line. He just came in from the side and knocked him off his feet, and they'll mark it. So 1st and 10 from their own 25, hash mark right side. Temikulis continues at quarterback. The lone setback, Walters, is 6 yards off the line of scrimmage, takes the handoff, goes over the left side, breaks to the outside, stiff arms a defensive back. That was McElrath as he got across the 30 up to the 32. 2nd down and 3 coming up for SFU as the injured offensive lineman makes his way off the field. That was Norris, the right tackle. 3 receivers come wide right. Mikolas, delay handoff out of the backfield, and coming to the right side and slipping at the 32-yard line, which is basically the line of scrimmage, was John. And they'll send 3 receivers left, and Murgatroyd will be the lone setback, offset to the left behind the quarterback on 3rd and 3. Quick pass into the flat, left side, caught, and ahead close to a first down is Walters, as Todd Green had him from the hash mark left side at their own 36-yard line. Backs in the eye, Cook comes wide right. Sheath is wide left, the tight end strong left. Tamicolis back to pass, straight back, getting some pressure. Hershey had him by the sleeve, could not hold on to him. And the pass is up, but incomplete, intended for the tight end Fort here up at the 35-yard line. And brings up 2nd down and 10 for Simon Frasier. Two backs are split, receivers left and right, tight end is strong left. Tamicolis under center, takes the snap, dropping back, short drop, looks over the middle, throws, intercepted by the Lutz, picked off by Green. Green, a former running back, has the football to 25, down to the 30, I should say, and dropped it to 29-yard line. Todd Green gets his hands on the football over the middle and picks it off and returns it some 15-third quarter clock.
22 yards, got the Lutz in scoring position again.
Almost reminded us of last week's touchdown run by Ted Riddell following the interception and lateral between he and Kevin Winder. Two receivers come wide left. Toss sweep left side to Reque, looking for a block, gets the block but runs into the pile, and a flag comes in late. We may have a holding or a clip against the Lutz. The stop, meanwhile, defensively by the defensive end Ryan Banks on Reque up at the 27, so a short gain of 2. Leading the way out there offensively for the Lutz was Kirk Estes. Estes is a redshirt freshman out of Boulder City, Nevada. That's the final play of the third quarter. We go away to end the quarter here. Leads the offensive unit up to the line. Two receivers go wide right. Quarterback under center with one setback behind him. 6 yards off the line, offset to the right side. Hoseth with a long snap count. Toss sweep right side. Corey Beret gets away from one, but not the rest of the defense. Crushing him about 5 yards in the backfield. Ryan Banks.
Actually only missed 2 plays.
As we start the fourth quarter, the Lutz faced with 2nd and 24, moving left to right here in the final quarter of play. Here comes the blitz. Hoseth under pressure, steps away, throws over the middle. Wide open is his tight end at the 30, down to the 27, and sliding forward to the 26 is Carl Kint. 8 for PLU as they pick up 16 on the pass play. Josh Reque will go wide left to the wide side of the field. Two tight ends. Hoseth out of the shotgun with two backs split in the backfield with him. Takes the snap, backpedaling, sets up, has time. Now he starts to roll, looking away from pressure, lost the football, and it's dropped on back at the 40-yard line by, I think, Burkett, one of his. And back to return is Mike Smith for SFU. The punt is away, angling it toward the far sideline, trying to get it down inside the 20. It bounced at the 14 and rolls out of bounds, and they're going to spot it up at the 17-yard line.
On the Vikings in what could be a pivotal game, at least in the Mount Rainier Conference.
Three receivers will come wide left. And here's the toss sweep to the right side. And upfield across the 20 to the 25 and dragged down from behind. Now a flag comes in late. Lee is the carrier for Simon Frasier, and he was wrapped up by McElrath and Todd Green. As we see more substitutions in defensively for PLU, Kirk Hamilton is checked into the defensive backfield.
Back, like you said, just behind the original line of scrimmage.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. So they're right back where they were moments ago. Two receivers go wide right, Sheath in the slot. Rolling on to his right is the quarterback, Mikolas. And trying to run with a football across the 20 up to the 24 inside of Keith Fulfs, and got around Van Slichtenhorst, but a couple of other. Scott Davidson and Sheath will both come wide left, Sheath in the slot. And now Martin Gallipo, the fullback, will shift to the wing to the left side. Walters is the lone setback. Mikolas, the quarterback, hands off, straight up field, behind the offensive line up to the 30 for the first down, up to the 31-yard line, the ball carrier. I believe that's, and he is the deep back in the eye, as Davidson comes wide left and Sheath goes right. Tight end is strong right on 1st and 10 from the 31, hash mark right side. Hand off to Lee. Lee across the 35 and down at the 39, and a gain of close to 9 on the play. 4 as Davidson and Sheath both break from the huddle and come wide left with Sheath in the slot. The backs again in the eye. Tight end will be strong left on 2nd and 1. Fake the handoff to the deep back to Nicholas, back to throw. Out of the backfield, he has his tight end along the near sideline for the first down into the PLU bench at the PLU 48-yard line. That is Chris Zarka. The fourth quarter, and Sheath and Davidson will go wide right. Sheath inside on the slot, and the wing to the right side will be Gallipo. Lee is the lone setback to Nicholas, the quarterback, under center on first down. Handoff to Lee. Lee, big hole over the middle across the 45, down near the PLU 40-yard line, and 9 yards ripped off on that first down carry. Davidson will come wide left to the short side of the field. Sheath goes wide right. Backs are in the eye. Tight end is strong right. On 2nd down and short. Handoff, second back through the deep back. That's Lee, and Lee drags the defender across the 40 down to the first down marker. Relays that to the quarterback. On 1st and 10, SFU looking for their first points this afternoon against the PLU defense. Sheath will go wide right. Davidson comes left. The backs will be split behind the quarterback. Tight end is strong right. Nicholas turns around with some instructions to his two backs behind him. 5 yards off the line of scrimmage now. A whistle blows, maybe a delay of game coming up as they were going to toss sweep left side. But the whistle blows to stop the play as the pitch went back to Gallipo. So delay of game will cost the Klansmen 5 yards. That'll move it back outside the 40 as they put the football down at the 43-yard line. And that'll bring up first down and 15. Watson and Gallo along with Murgatroyd, and two receivers will go wide right. Tight end is strong left on 1st and 15. To Nicholas, back to pass, has some time, puts one up in the air, intended for his fullback Murgatroyd out of the backfield. Down at the 39-yard line of PLU, covered by Alexander.
That's Nicholas having a hard time being effective through the air for the Klan.
Chris Zarka listed as a tight end, lined up as the fullback. Man in motion through the formation to the near side was Sheath. Back to pass to Nicholas, getting pressure by Hershey, rolling right. Now here comes some more pressure, throwing as he's hit. Makes the no, it was an incomplete pass. Watson had it momentarily, but he was hit by Arnold. Meanwhile, checks in. He goes wide right. Backs are split. Tight end is strong right on 3rd down and long. To Nicholas, back to pass. Here comes pressure from the outside. He's hit, gets away, steps up, throws downfield to Clark, and it is over his head, incomplete. We're going to have a holding call coming up, though, against Simon Frasier as the pressure from the out.
When the ball was in the air, that's when the flag came out from the side judge.
Indeed, the Lutz will decline the penalty, forcing the punt by Anderson as he drops back inside his 45 to the 42, awaiting the snap. DJ Seidel back at the PLU 10, down to our left, awaiting the kick. As we approach the 9-minute mark, there's the kick. He's trying to angle it to the sideline, and he shanked it, and it's going to go out of bounds. 36-yard line, 9:02 to go, 42-4, Lutz on top.
First down, 10 yards to go for PLU to the 40-yard line.
On first down, handoff straight upfield. Rique lost the football again across the 45. Whistles blow, but it is a turnover, and Simon for 47. Ball resting between the hashes. Three receivers come wide left. One setback, 7 yards off the line behind the quarterback to Nicholas. He will take the handoff to Smith. Smith over the left side, gets across the 40, down near the 38-yard line and close to. Davidson will come wide left to the short side of the field. The backs will operate out of the eye on 2nd and short, 2nd and 2. Handoff deep back over the left side. Fighting his way forward, still on his feet. Watson down to the 20, down to the 10, and dropped inside the PLU 10-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle by Marcus Gibbs.
Touchdown-saving tackle, but it's still a big 30-yard pickup for the Klan.
First and goal from the PLU 7, hash mark left side, out of the eye, toss sweep left side. This is Lee around the left end and knocked out of bounds at the 8-yard line by Sheath. Will go wide right. Davidson comes to the short side, the left side. Tight end is strong right. On 2nd down and goal, the back's in the eye. To Nicholas. Give it to Smith. Smith over the right side. Falls forward to the 5-yard line for a gain of 3. Arnold on the stop. Throw a shutout, although there are 4 points on the board. They come on 2 safeties for Simon Frasier. Backs are split. Double tight end, 1 receiver right. That's Sheath in motion toward the formation. Handoff, fake to Watson. Back to pass to Nicholas. Looking, getting some pressure. Steps up, throwing on the run. He threw it behind his open tight end, Sarka, in the back of
just not being able to put the ball on the money, and they're going to go for it here on 4th down after a timeout.
They have called for and been granted a timeout at the 6:58. Decided instead of kicking it off, or at least trying to get it off, he would take the safety as well. And those are the only points for Simon Frasier this afternoon. 3 receivers wide right to Nicholas, back to pass. Looking, has time. Now he's going to take off and run, throwing back of the end zone. His receiver fell down. He slipped and fell underneath the shadow of the goalpost on downs. And PLU's defense holds.
And go for the touchdown through the air. I mean, they've shown that they can run the ball, and sure they need 5 yards, but to me it was surprising they ended up throwing the ball.
PLU's offense on the field. Quick out to DJ Seidel from Hunt. Makes the catch. Gets up forward for about 4 on the play. The ball was actually, I think, tipped by a lineman at the line of scrimmage, but still made its way down and officially 7 yards. They gave him a gain of 3. And Requay will go wide left. He is the lone wideout as the Lutes have double tight end and 2 backs behind Hunt on 2nd and long. And the handoff over the left side. They take it out across the 10 up near the 12-yard line. So that'll be a gain. Lutz Burkett is on the right side, and Kientz goes left. And out of the shotgun, Hunt back at his 7-yard line, takes the snap, almost dropped it. Now he backpedals inside the 5, has time throwing over the middle. Caught out at the 21 for a first down, and then a flag comes in late. We may have a face mask coming up. We'll check the call, see if we can pick out the receiver. Might have been Kientz again, or was it Seidel?
It was
Kientz. Yeah. He's having a big afternoon coming off the bench here in the second half for PLU. It's his 4th or 5th catch. And they need to get outside the 16 for the first down, so it's 3rd down and 11. Out of the shotgun, 2 receivers wide and left, double tight end, 1 setback. Hunt back at his 1, and the shotgun awaits the snap. He gets it, rolls out to his left, hit and tripped up at the 1-yard line. Just got out of the end zone. A loss on the play of 5. And PLU short of the back of the end zone here as he gets the snap from center. The snap is back, the kick is off, and this is Smith going to let it bounce, take it on 1 bounce at the PLU 42, heading to the far sideline at the 40 to the 35 and down there. And so Simon Frasier will take over first. KLAY. Back to action, and Simon Frasier in first down tried to sweep and put the ball down at the hash mark left side. The play comes in off the sideline through the fullback, Martin Gallipo. 2nd down and 12 as Davidson goes to the wide side, the right side of the formation. Sheath comes short left. And the 2 backs are split and offset to the right behind the quarterback. To Nicholas, back to pass, throwing. Puts one up too high. It's intercepted by Green. His 2nd of the day down the far sideline of the 50. Puts on the brakes, laterals it back, and he's tripped up. 2 flags come down.
3 flags.
Near midfield, there are 3 flags now as Green gets his 2nd INT of the afternoon and then lateraled it backwards. Might have been Josh Arnold he was flipping it back to up at the 40-yard line. Now let's check the flags. We may have a clip or something coming on the return by the Lutes. Well, it wouldn't be an illegal forward pass because he turned around and tossed it backward. Ball, meanwhile, is moved back to the PLU 38. Hash mark left side. DJ Seidel will come wide right. And 2 backs are split behind the quarterback, Ben Hunt, his 2nd offensive series of the afternoon with 3.5 to go in the contest. Tight end strong right. Man in motion out of the backfield coming to the near side. And Hunt hands off to Requay. Requay upfield and was a step away from going. As they ran the option to the right side, they give it to the fullback back out of Kingston. And he is in there along with Requay in the backfield. They are split as Seidel comes wide right with 3:09 to go. 1st and 10. Hunt toss sweep right side to Requay looking for a block. Tripped up in the backfield. Gets forward to the 48. Actually, it will lose it'll be 2nd down and 11 from the 48 hash mark right side. Hunt continuing at quarterback as Requay wide right to the short side of the field. Again, the backs are split and offset to the left side. Now Seidel in motion out of the backfield coming to the near side. Hunt back to pass. Has some time rolling to the near side. Going to tuck it under and run, and he's hitting and pushed forward to the 45. And that'll be a short gain of 3 on the play. Will bring up 3rd in the nation. Will improve their record overall to 5-0-1. Ben Hunt under center with 2 backs split and offset to the left. Receivers are left and right. Man in motion through the formation right to left is Reekwe. Hunt back to pass. Getting some pressure, throwing as he's hit. This will be incomplete, but he was fortunate to get the pass off. He still paid the punishment. And once he gets to full strength, this Simon Frasier defense, which came in ranked second, should be just a little bit tougher. So maybe PLU escaped here by facing Peterson when he was not 100%. On 4th and 7, the Lutes will be punting the football away. Thomas takes the snap. The punt is off. It's a high angling kick toward the far sideline. Will bounce inside the 15 and go out at about the 12-yard line. Very effective for Jamie Thomas. And with a minute 25:80 KLAY.
Trevor Martin is now in at quarterback. John Lee, the ball carrier.
Under a minute to go now. 2nd down and 11 coming up as Sheath and Davidson both come wide left. The backs are in the eye. PLU right now defensively just playing center field. There's the run over the left side, and they pick up a couple, maybe back to the Ridge at South 84th and Hosmer just off I-5 in Tacoma. With 8 seconds to go, let's see if they get the snap up before the game's conclusion. Receivers left and right, and the handoff is to the deep back. This is Watson. Watson breaking to the outside, but he's tackled by Alexander at the 15. That'll be it. The game's final play and our final score this afternoon from Spark Stadium on Armed Forces Day. Pacific Lutheran 42 and Simon Frasier 4. The Lutes move their record to 5-0-1 overall, 2-0 in Mount Rainier.